today's video. And if you're going to be a new mama and dada, congratulations.
Today's video is about something truly special, a journey that changes you forever, becoming a parent and bringing a new life into this world. It's a beautiful, but it also comes with a lot of responsibility. And in those early days, all you want is to pause time, hold your baby a little longer, and just live in those tiny magical moments. But along with that, there's also planning and financial pressure. Maternity leave gives you that precious time with your baby, but if planned well, it can truly help you enjoy this phase without unnecessary stress. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know so you can focus on what truly matters.
So in this video, we are going to cover the types of leaves and who would be eligible, is the income taxable and how much you can expect, and how to apply for EI, and the most important, the financial planning. So these are the 5 main pillars when you're going for a maternity or a parental. So guys, welcome back to my channel. Call me Nivek, starting with K. If you guys are new to my channel, please do subscribe. It keeps me motivated to make more videos and bring all those to you. So first comes the types of leave. So there are 2 types of leaves. One is maternity and the other one is the parental. So the maternity is the person who is giving birth. They are eligible for 15 weeks of maternity, and it can start 12 weeks prior to your delivery. Yes, you can apply for EI 12 weeks prior to your delivery, and it would be total of 15 weeks. That means if you have taken 12 weeks before your delivery date, then you're only eligible for next 3 weeks once delivered, but you can go for parental just right after that. So there are 2 types of parental leave under that. One is the standard, the other one is the extended. The standard one is for 40 weeks and the extended one is for 69 weeks. But for those 40 weeks, one person can only take up to 35 weeks, and the 5 weeks is for your other partner. And for the extended, one person can take maximum of 61 weeks, and the other person is eligible to take 8 weeks. Now let's explain. Is it just 5 weeks and the 8 weeks? No. So it is the maximum. If you're into the standard, you can either choose to go for 20 weeks. So there you have total of 40 weeks. One person can take maximum of 35 weeks. If you both choose to go on parental at the same time, you guys can go for 20 weeks each. So you both can go together for 20 weeks at the same time. Or if the other person wants to go for just 30 weeks, the other person can have their 5 weeks plus the 5 weeks that you left it, the total of 10 weeks the other person can take. Understand the extended one. Same goes with that. So you have total of 69 weeks. The maximum is 61 weeks for one partner. The other partner can 8 weeks. If you guys choose and decide to go together, you guys can go for 31 weeks and 30 weeks all together. Right? Now, those 5 weeks into the standard and the 8 weeks into the extended for the other partner has to be taken within 52 weeks or before your baby turns 1. If your other partner chooses not to take it, you cannot take those 5 weeks of the standard, or if you have chosen the extended, 8 weeks of those. It would be gone. So they are called use it or lose it weeks. Talk about what you would expect as a payment. So in standard, you get 55% of your pay, and in extended, you get 33% of your pay. So as of 2026, when you're going for standard, the maximum you would get is $729 per week, or if you chose to go for extended, you would get $437 per week. Now let's understand the total amount when you're on is X amount only. When you're going on standard, the amount is higher but the weeks are less. But when you go for extended, the pays are less but it's paid for more weeks. Now there's a catch. if you chose extended and for some reason, right, for some condition, you had to join back, the amount you would get would be X minus X number of weeks. So you won't get that total X amount. Now let's talk about the eligibility criteria. It's very simple. If you're new, then you might not be. So you need to have 600 hours insured in last 52 weeks to be eligible for the maternity EI or the parental EI. Now let's take an example. Your wife, you came now, you got pregnant. Are you losing that? Yes, you might not be eligible for the maternity, but your better half who has been in Canada for a longer time and that person has worked 600 hours insured can take parental for those weeks. If he chooses to go for standard, he can take all 35 weeks of parental. Or if he chooses for the extended, he can take all total of 61 weeks. Okay, let's talk about applying for EI, for maternity. You go online, go for application, fill out all the information. There are some documents that you should have it in hand before applying for the EI. Now, there's one catch. What we did, we knew because we had the date in the hospital. So we filled all the documents, all the data into the system, and the system keeps your information for 72 hours. That means 3 days. So we filled out all the information and we did not submit it yet. So there are two options: new application or the trying to trace the old application. So once the information was already there, and when I delivered the baby, we just submitted it immediately on the same day. So I started my maternity on the same day of the delivery. So you can choose, if you are sure about the day, fill out the information ahead of time. It will save a lot of time when you're in the hospital and when you want to do it, because those times you're already doing so much. So you can use your maternity 12 weeks prior to your expected delivery date. And if you're choosing that, you need to apply for the EI at the same time. And you also have to inform your employer so that the employer can send the ROE to the EI. That's when your payment will start. If the ROE has not been sent to the EI, you won't get the payment. So make sure that you inform the employer and your employer sends the ROE to the EI. And if it's sent electronically, it's the best. It actually speeds up your process. So maternity can be only taken maximum to the 17 weeks from the date of the delivery. So if you chose not to take maternity for the next 4 weeks after your delivery, you would lose those weeks. You can apply parental along with the maternity. That's what we also did it. So we applied the maternity and parental at the same time. Now, here's the catch. When you're applying for the maternity and the parental, you would be asked to choose either you want to go for standard or extended. Whatever you choose at that time would be logged as soon as you get your first pay. It cannot be changed. So you remember, as I said, if you choose extended, now you want to go back, you can make those changes. And when your partner is applying for the parental later on, or they can choose to apply at the same time, they need to select the same option, either the standard or extended, whatever you chose. If you're working with an employer who gives a top up in maternity, there is no top up in parental leave, but some employers provide top up in maternity leave. Go through all the documents, talk to your HR, how does that work, how the process is, and make sure you're in the right direction of getting the benefits your employer gives. Talk about what's coming in your hand. So EI is taxable. So you're going to get payment after tax deduction. But with my real experience that I had for the financial year 2025, I was still owning the tax by the end of the financial year. It is suggested to keep some amount to pay off your tax. The tax slab would be for the total income you earn in that year. but they calculate the tax for the amount they are paying. So eventually you'll own a tax that you have to pay, and it will be very hard on your pocket. And very important note for the payments. When you're applying for the EI, you don't get the EI immediate. So you'll still get the payment for the waiting period. The payment are paid bi-weekly, same as we get it as a salary. But you won't be getting paid in the waiting period. And the waiting period is maximum 4 weeks, right? So for my example, I started getting payment after 2 weeks. So I got the one pay of those 2 weeks, and the second pay of the next 2 weeks all together, and eventually I started getting it bi-weekly. So be prepared for that 1 month of no payment. It can be early, it can be later. I have a separate video coming up how you can apply for EI step by step in 2026 with all the minute information, the details, and the option that you would be needing to keep your application speed up. Now comes the last part, financial planning. I know it's a very happy moment. It brings so much joy. You're enjoying, you're doing everything, but with the cut of that 55%, if you chose standard, and if you chose extended 33%, that is like 70% cut on your pocket is going to hit hard. So let's do a reality check. When you're pregnant, you have so many expenses. And when your little one arrives, you have more than expenses you would expect. I thought I would be not spending that much, but really you would be. It's just such a happy moment. You're on the top of the world. You want to do everything. So yes, expenses are going to hit hard on your pocket, and with that reduction, it would. So the first question is, can you work if there is a financial crunch at that time? So the answer is no. When you're getting an EI, so the EI is actually the insurance for your unemployment. As soon as you're getting payment or you're working, your EI will stop. So the answer is no, you cannot work anywhere. Now, what to do? So let's see where we can actually manage the major things. First, cut down your heavy expenses, pay off your credit, pay off your loan or mortgages possible. Avoid any new expenses. Do not buy or add any new expense that you don't necessarily need. And then save at least 4 to 5 months of emergency fund. Trust me, it will be so relaxed if you do that. And you can also cut down your other expenses, like if you're paying or you have a plan for your telecom that you're using, reduce that if possible. Apart from maternity and parental, you can also take sickness leave for maternity. For some reason you are not to work because of the sickness before your delivery, you can take the sickness leave under maternity, but you would be needing a doctor's note, the condition or the reason why you're not able to do it, and then you'll be eligible to get sickness leave under maternity. So hopefully I was able to help you guys, but in case I forgot to mention anything, please do not hesitate to comment. I am very happy to help and respond for any queries because I know. And until then, have a very beautiful journey and congratulations on being a new parent. Have a beautiful and amazing life ahead. Until then, hasta la vista, signing off.